If you're a beginner to miniature wargaming and want to get into Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar on a budget, here are my first purchase suggestions. Warhammer is generally a little pricey, but you don't need your first purchase to be hyper expensive. But if you want to splurge and buy something like the new Skaven Tide launch box for 4th edition Age of Sigmar, go for it. It's a great value, but you don't need to make one large purchase to start Warhammer. Your very first decisions before you buy anything will be which game system and which army to start. I'm going to assume you already have an idea already of 40k versus Age of Sigmar and what army you like, but if not, my advice is the rule of cool. Choose whichever army appeals to you the most aesthetically and lore-wise, if you have prior knowledge on that front. This is because balance and rules will change, but if your army looks cool and you like the idea of them, that'll be with you forever. Once we decide on what army we want to start, we can think about our first purchase. For this, I would recommend a chaff unit, a basic infantry, battle line, whatever you want to call it. For example, Seraphon Skinks, Skaven Clan Rats, Orc Boys, or Space Marine Intercessors. The idea behind doing this is that your very first time painting should not be on a big cool, I will only ever buy one of these type models like Angron or Lord Croak. When you first start building and painting your models, you're not even sure if you'll like the process, and secondly, if you've never built or painted something, chances are your first attempt isn't going to be that great. If you got skinks, you paint up your first one and it's ugly, that's okay, because you'll have time to practice on a bunch more. You'll improve much quicker as you'll have more reps, and the pressure to make your minis look good will be lower compared to if you started on Lord Croak or Angron. When choosing which chaff or battle line unit to buy, there are ways that you can min-max this decision. One of the ways you can do this is by choosing a battle line unit that doesn't exist in your army's combat patrol or spearhead. The reason being, those are your army's discount box. If you ensure your first purchase isn't in your army's discount box, you will be able to get the full discount once you go ahead and buy one. You may ask, but then why not just buy the discount box instead? The reason I don't really advise this as your first purchase is due to the entry cost. If you buy a combat patrol or spearhead, even though it may be great value, it is still over $100 plus the cost of all your hobby supplies. If you start building and painting then realize the hobby isn't for you, then you would have spent way more if you bought a single box, though there is something to be said about going to your local Warhammer store to try building and painting a model for free. And if you do that and enjoy the hobby, then of course you can make the discount box as your first purchase, but still, it is a larger entry cost. Another way you can min-max your first purchase if you're interested in 40k is that you can take a look at the Kill Team Compendium, and this will allow you to choose a battle line unit or other basic troop that can make up a full kill team. That way, while you build and paint the rest of your 40k army, you can enjoy tabletop gaming through Kill Team. An excellent example of all of this in action is a box of regular Orc Boys, as they're not included in the Orc Combat Patrol, and one box is enough to fill the Kill Team. If you're not interested in Kill Team, or are planning on starting out an AoS, the quick recap is to pick a basic unit that doesn't exist in your army's discount box. Once you finish your first box, you know you're interested in the hobby and want more, go ahead and buy your army's discount box, whether that's a spearhead or combat patrol. I hope this was helpful, and if anyone has other tips or suggestions for new players, please leave them in the comments below. Subscribe for more Warhammer content, and I'll see you next time.